Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Rogue Agent Answers. My name is the Rogue Agent. Some people call me David Lewis, and every week I answer one of the many life insurance related questions that I've received from clients, from email subscribers on the daily email list. Questions floated to me from across the interwebs, in the comments sections, which I know you're not supposed to read, or just interactions that I've had with people in real life over the past 20 years, which is a long time. And some of these questions I just scribbled down on scrap pieces of paper. Some of these are stuff I've written down on my phone. Some of it is on Post-it notes scattered all over the office. And every week I answer one of those questions. So if you'd like to ask your question, drop them in the comments section or join my email list for more life insurance tips and advice at monogenics.com. monegenics.com. And now for this week's question.
This week's question is, what options do I have for increasing the value of my life insurance policy? For whole life insurance, you have basically one option at most companies, and that is to add more premium dollars to your PUA rider. There are sometimes situations where you can add additional term life insurance riders or potentially increase the base policy by adding, some companies will allow you to expand the base policy just by applying for additional coverage, going through underwriting, and then kind of tacking on the new policy to the existing policy. I know at one point, and the carriers sometimes change this. I know at one point Mass Mutual allowed policyholders to do this, essentially get underwritten for additional coverage, have it kind of stacked on top of the existing coverage, so it kind of became all one policy. Not all carriers do this. Penn Mutual doesn't allow this. Other carriers that I've done business with don't allow this. Some do. Sometimes you can add additional, if you do not have a paid up additions rider on your policy, some companies will allow you to add it after the fact. You have to go through additional underwriting. But that's basically it. So if you want to add more money to your policy, typically it's going to be through the paid up additions rider. You either add it to the PUA rider or you buy a new policy and have a separate policy. If you own a universal life policy and you still haven't traded that sucker in yet for whole life insurance, then you have fewer options if the policy is already fully funded. With some ULs, you can go back to the company and ask for a face amount increase, and that is not going to be too difficult as long as you don't mind going through underwriting. That is basically your option under a UL policy. Ask for a face amount increase. And then if it gets approved, the insurance company will just increase your face amount, and then you should be able to add more premium dollars to the policy. If you aren't fully insured yet, buying a new policy is a great option. I know that buying life insurance for the insurance protection sounds dumb these days, but it's probably one of the smartest things you can do if you want more savings. Not only will you be swimming against the tide, but you'll be in a better financial position 5 years from now compared to, kind of typically what people are doing these days, which is either nothing or they're just kind of randomly throwing stuff at the wall and hope it sticks. Sorry if that sounds a little bit crass or offensive, but when you see that, some new laws and regulations coming down the pike regarding let's say long-term care insurance. I think a lot of people are going to start to realize that rude and offensive individuals are the ones with zero savings, zero insurance, people who never bothered to plan for their future and are fully expecting someone else to pay for their long-term care needs or expenses or whatever. Death expenses. I've seen this where people, they don't buy insurance. The dad doesn't buy insurance. The mom doesn't buy insurance. Nobody buys insurance. Nobody's taking care of the kids. And because nobody thinks anything bad is ever going to happen to them. And then they get on Flakebook, or usually it's Flakebook. And then they're begging people for money, through GoFundMe's. And so, I really need it. How could we ever foresee this? You idiots. This is what insurance is for. And so, like, I'm sorry if that's offensive, but geez, this is like, it's, as of this recording, it's 2025. You people haven't heard of life insurance yet. So even if you don't know anything about like whole life insurance, like you've seen commercials, you've seen ads, like, there are companies, I won't name, but there's companies that are essentially household names that run these annoying ads. You almost can't get away from them. You're telling me you've never even heard of this idea of like, hey, you go to an insurance company and they might insure something like this? It's ridiculous. So anyway, like, there are people, they expect other people to pay for them, right, when something goes wrong. And, at a time when, nobody can really afford that nonsense. Anyway, off my soapbox, and done with another FAQ Friday. So that is the answer. Yes, you can increase the value of your life insurance policy. You can add more premiums, so on and so forth, potentially increase the death benefit, the face amount, so on. Depending on the policy, it's either going to be easy or difficult, depending on your current health status and whatnot. So anyway, that's it, and I will see you next week.
Okay, that's it for this week's question. If you'd like to add your question to the list, just drop them in the comment section or send me an email. And if you want more life insurance tips and advice, just head on over to monogenics.com, monegeniX.com, and sign up for my daily email list.